Because it's a demon. That's why they make you feel weird, because it's a demonic possession to be that depraved, that you want to do that you want to take androgynous hormones to change yourself. That's not human. That's otherworldly. It's sick. How do you hate yourself so much? You fall so far into the depths of depravity that you want to cut off your balls. You want to turn your digging stick inside out to where it has flaps and it looks like female genitalia. That's a crazy place to be mentally. And then you also take androgynous hormones that I'm sure. So apparently some trans person thought it was a good idea to shoot up a Catholic school. The shooter card, in his magazine, but Twitter wants you to focus on whether he was trans. I think the trans part is, racism aside, I think the trans part is a lot more of an indicator of these things. Because I've said far worse things than this. The trans part is a mental disease that, makes people act out, crash out, do horrendous things because they're not well in the mind. Their brain chemistry and their hormonal balance and fluctuations is abnormal in ways that are not natural to the human body. It's being altered chemically by third parties that aren't supposed to be there in the first place. So, you know what I mean? What are we really expecting here, brethren? Minnesota church shooting trans, Republican Party firebombing gender fluid, Nashville shooter trans, Colorado Tesla arsonist trans, Colorado Springs shooter non-binary, Aberdeen shooter trans, Denver school shooter trans, Iowa school shooter trans, gender fluid, AMC stabber trans. What do you think is going to happen when you chemically alter your brain with illicit hormonal substances? Why are they always the ones that do this shit? I swear this happens frequent. It does, because they're not right in the head. Alright, imagine this, Jujutsu. Imagine you hate yourself so much for whatever reason. You don't know where this self-hatred spawned in from, but you just do. You hate yourself to the point where you start feeling an affinity to a difference, and that difference demon is the homosexual demon. It's the one of sexual confusion that ropes in these confused children that fall into this rabbit hole of self-hatred, and they begin to think that there's something that they aren't, and then they begin identifying with that because they are more enticed by the difference than they are confound in what they were created as. So they hate themselves so much they want to cut their meat off. How do you hate yourself so much? You fall so far into the depths of depravity that you want to cut off your balls. You want to turn your digging stick inside out to where it has flaps and it looks like female genitalia. That's a crazy place to be mentally. And then you also take androgynous hormones that I'm sure are probably altered to have things in them other than just testosterone or just estrogen. It's like mind control, and it's terrible. And people just celebrate this stuff because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. But sometimes hurting someone's feelings can be saving their life. They make me sick too. Because it's a demon. That's why they make you feel weird, because it's a demonic possession to be that depraved that you want to do that you want to take androgynous hormones to change yourself. That's not human. That's otherworldly. It's sick. So there's a presence of weirdness. There's an evil, dark shadow over these people, and it's not the people necessarily, but it's the spirits manipulating them. You ever heard that take before? Yeah, bro. That's a really deep, dark place to be, bro. That you want to change your gender. You're a guy, and then you think, oh, I want tits. Who thinks that? That's so abnormal. Nothing about that is biological. There's no unaltered species in nature you can observe that has a tendency to swap its gender out of purely selfish means. There might be some one weird amoeba in algae that can reproduce itself even though it's not asexual and they have actual male and female chemicals, like whatever. But as far as legitimately because of a selfish, unprincipled, illogical, non-survival reason, you cannot observe anywhere in nature where a creature wants to change its assigned sex or live as a different identity and mask around as it. That's never happened ever. It's because the Prince of Darkness is currently working overtime. Porn also distorts people's minds. Everything does. The vaccines distort people's minds. Food distorts people's minds. The air, our water's getting poisoned with fluoride. The EMFs are damaging our DNA and our reproductive organs. We're being attacked from all angles, bro. That's why I want to get out of this matrix as quickly as possible. They're pumping hormones in the cows and the pigs and the chickens and in the eggs. And don't even get me started on all the artificial chemicals that do reproductive harm and mental harm, and artificial colorings that cause cancer on purpose. They poison the food supply and then make the medication to remedy the ramifications of the food, like with skyrocketed prices. And it's just this revolving door of sickness. And then the same four companies own all the pharmaceutical industries or companies and all of the food companies. So it's just all just this puppet string on top of pornography, on top of doom scrolling, on top of all of the vices that exist in the world in modern times on the internet. It's everything, bro. It's literally the Matrix. 2 children are murdered while praying in school. Dems, it's the guns. MAGA, he had long hair, he must be trans. I hate it here. Actually, he had long hair, he must be trans is such a blatant misrepresentation because it's literally a trans person. Like, that's outwardly what the identity was. I think to get rid of the bureaucratic entropy that exists in government, I think it's a necessity to change the system. I think there's way too many hands in the pot, way too many people trying to take cookies out the cookie jar, and it is just no bueno all around.
At a Catholic school, and the media wants to take away your handgun. So how are we supposed to protect ourselves from trans shooters? The media is bad at pattern recognition. We aren't. Just 2 years ago, another trans 20-something walked into a Christian school in Nashville with a rifle and shot 3 kids and 3 adults. They buried the manifesto and locked down the case. We've seen trans shootings in Colorado and in Maryland. They even shot up an ICE facility in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like half of Antifa's trans. A couple of they-thems just got popped for firebombing Teslas. The mayor of Minneapolis says, you can't say that.
Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids.
I don't hate anyone who thinks they're trans. I feel sorry for them. But statistically, the trans population has been prone to violence. That's not villainizing, that's reality. And if you can't recognize...
And did you see the drawings that this person made? It was them communicating with the demon and like writing it in Russian. It's demonic possession.
Reality, you're in danger. We love the American people, especially American children. And if they're troubled and believe there's somehow a girl trapped in a boy's body, we want to get them help. We don't want to give them hormones and operate on them. Society shouldn't be trying to produce more trans kids.
Literally.
We shouldn't be encouraging an emotional disorder or whatever this is. And doctors should stop profiting from it. Great Britain ended child sex change surgeries. They said it's barbaric, and they're right. And politicians should stop elevating the trans issue like it's the civil rights struggle of the 21st century. You see it all over Minneapolis.
Democrats are so cooked, bro.
Minneapolis will
the fact that they keep until they learn to stop dying on this hill and to let these issues go, these 1% issues, they are so finished, bro. They are so finished.
continue to be a safe haven for our trans community.
For being a safe haven for transgender individuals.
We have sued them for gender affirming.
And did you see, what's his name? Tim Walz? Did you see he was gifted a thank you letter from the Church of Satan for his contributions to the cause? Did you see that?
Care, yes, we are not going to scapegoat our transgender community.
I bet you do
when
want
our
it to
children
be a sanctuary.
tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups.
You haven't seen that? Here it is.
Walls, and it is from people that are supporting the media, is this plaque in honor of our governor, Tim Walz, and it is from people that are supportive of his efforts, and there it is.
The Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thank Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. The blood of Jesus.
Hey, right here in the East Hall, lower level. And it reads, the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers, Governor Tim Walz, standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. And that's what it says. The media is this plaque.
It makes absolutely no sense. As Tim Walz has been the governor of Minnesota, Satan clubs have infiltrated the schools. Christians have been jailed, pedophiles have been protected, rioters were allowed to destroy cities, and the state flag has been redesigned to resemble the flag of Somalia.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute. There, that's better. All right, ready. Whoa.
Oh yeah, they're cooked, bro.
Format dedicated to him. Did you know that the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, has a plaque of the Baphomet dedicated to him inside the Minnesota State Capitol? Check this video out.
This is Sharon Duffing at the Minnesota State Capitol building.
Holiday display. And Governor Walz said he wasn't going to do any display. Together and put on a holiday display. And Governor Walz said he wasn't going to do anything about it. Now, if I was someone who believed in God and supported the Democrats, one of the first questions I'd be asking is why it is that the Democrat Party doesn't have a problem with being associated with Satanism and the devil. Because as the Bible says, what fellowship does light have with darkness?
Absolutely
I mean, this is,
none,
after all,
brethren.
far from the first time we've seen something like this. Do you remember the rally that Senator Bernie Sanders had in which he had a singer come on stage and sing one of the most blasphemous anti-Christ songs I've ever heard? Let me tell you how deep this goes with Democrats defending Satanism. You remember that shrine that was put up to the Baphomet at the New Hampshire State Capitol, and it was tore down by a Christian? Well, there was a Democrat state representative who called for the display to be put back up and described herself as an inactive member of the Satanic Temple. One of the things I'm happy about
Bro, my
is that
chest
the
is
more
getting
we
tight.
see stuff
Feeling
like
weird.
this, the more we
blood of
see
Jesus.
Christians standing up to oppose it. See, not only did a
Blood of
Christian man tear down the
Jesus.
Baphomet shrine in New Hampshire, but you had a man take one down at the Iowa State Capitol.
How do you hate yourself so much? You fall so far into the depths of depravity that you want to cut off your balls. You want to turn your digging stick inside out to where it has flaps and it looks like female genitalia. That's a crazy place to be mentally. And then you also take androgynous hormones that I'm sure, how do you hate yourself so much? You fall so far into the depths of depravity that you want to cut off your balls. You want to turn your digging stick inside out to where it has flaps and it looks like female genitalia. That's a crazy That's a crazy place to be mentally. And then you also take androgynous hormones that I'm sure
capital as well. And when that Hail Satan prayer took place at the Alaska